Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So let's get into this topic here. As you guys know, Ryan Clark recently got terminated at ESPN, but there was another name, and the other name was Cam Newton. Now, as you guys know, Cam Newton, not too long ago, did a show with Jason Whitlock, and I think Whitlock went on Cam's show. I think it was in person, right? I think it was in person. I don't remember. But anyway, he went on Cam's show. And if you know anything about Whitlock, man, he gonna say some disrespectful things to get into your skin, and he gonna take it there. He gonna cross the line. That's his brand of commentary. And he has been going at Stephen A. Smith for years, to the point where Stephen A. Smith has responded to him, and they've had that. You've seen, I mean, everybody's aware of this. So that's why a lot of people were surprised when they saw him on when Whitlock appeared on the show. And many people at the time wondered, wait a minute, how's this going to sit with Stephen A. Smith? So Whitlock goes on the show. He trashes Stephen A. Smith, calls him a phony, calls him a fraud. And at the end of that, I think Stephen A. did a show. I think he did a show where he was responding to what was said on the podcast, but then also said to Cam Newton, hey, look, man, if you're going to have somebody come on this show and trash me and ask some questions, like push back, try to get to the bottom of what he's saying, figure out if does he have any proof or whatever. And at the time, I knew the entire thing was going to backfire. I knew it, because Whitlock was using Cam Newton to get at Stephen A. Smith. That's what he stood to gain. And so after Cam Newton got fired, a lot of people began to react to it. But one of the people was close friend, former colleague of Stephen A. Smith, Rob Parker. He did a show on The Odd Couple on Fox Sports Radio yesterday, and it said, Cam Newton's big mistake, not backing Stephen A. So I clicked on it. And after I listened to it, it seemed like Rob was not saying that Stephen A. got Cam Newton fired, but saying that he didn't help him. He didn't stop them from firing him as well. And if you notice, when Stephen A. Smith spoke up yesterday, he spoke about Ryan Clark and made zero mention of Cam Newton. Take a listen to what Rob Parker had to say here.
Now, Stephen A. spoke about the Ryan Clark situation on his own podcast, saying that he was upset about it. The bosses know he's upset about it. And that if he had as much power as people think he did, that Ryan Clark would still be there. I, full disclosure, did not watch the podcast, but there was no headline mentioning that Stephen A. was upset about the Cam Newton firing. Maybe it's because you recall back in March, Cam Newton had Stephen A.'s longtime nemesis, Jason Whitlock, on his podcast, and Jason Whitlock went scorched earth on Stephen A.
No doubt.
And Stephen A. responded back on his own podcast a couple of days after that. And he said one thing in particular that raised my eyebrow. Said, quote, Cam, next time, my brother, because you know I love you, you're going to interview somebody and bring me up. Don't just sit there and let them talk ish. Ask some damn questions.
And you know what, Kelvin?
Yeah.
And Rob G, thank you that's the perfect way to set it up. But I'll say this. Steve was right on this. And I didn't talk to him about the whole Cam Newton and all that. Mm-hmm. I know personally, Kelvin, I told Rob G this in pre-show meeting. On Rob G's podcast. What's the name of it, Rob G?
The Restricted Area.
The Restricted Area. If Rob G brought in somebody who had a riff with me, which means he'd have guests for the next 3 months. Because so many people are dead to me. Right. But anyway.
That's the best part.
And they trashed me on his podcast, and he just kind of sat there. I would feel a certain kind of way. I don't think I'd be able to work again with somebody. I'm not saying that who you should have on. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that they can't make a case or whatever they want to do. But to sit there, and I thought it was very weird, I got to admit, knowing the history between Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. And Jason Whitlock would just attack him every freaking day, just every day. Every video was about Stephen A. It was really, really bad. He said some crazy stuff that Cam just sat there. And I thought, that's strange. Don't you remember the one where he even, and Kelvin, this is the one that really got me. When he said that Stephen A was gay because he was playing solitaire at the NBA. Remember they caught him
on the screen, yeah.
And there was no response to that. It was just like he just threw that out there. That was the one that really got to me. I was just like, what? What does playing solitaire have to do with any? Like I was shocked that went unchecked. Okay, so here's the point, and then I want to hear from you, and then we'll ask people. I don't think. I don't. Like Steve doesn't. I agree with Steve, and I believe him. He can't say who's hired or fired, okay? Because there would be a lot of people he'd want to still be around. Jalen Rose and you know what I mean? And all those guys for sure. But I would have had a hard time working with Cam, me personally, after that performance with Jason Whitlock. That's just me.
So you heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts? I think that when Cam Newton did that show with Whitlock, Stephen A. Smith was blindsided. And I think that's the reason he took on his show to go respond to what was said about him on that show. Cam was probably looking at it the same way Carmelo Anthony was looking at it when Stephen A. Smith went on his show. You remember when Stephen A. Smith went on his show and he was getting it off on LeBron James, and some people were looking at Carmelo like, "How you gonna let him do that?" and blah 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 blah. And Carmelo was like, "Bro, he talking like, what you want me to do? Like, start arguing with the dude back and forth?" Like, it was kind of that thing that happened, and he's saying that he didn't help him, or maybe he played a role where it's like, wait a minute. This guy that's been trashing me for the last few years, you went and now collaborated with him and did a show. Nah, you gotta get up out of here. You gotta get up out of here. Because I'm sure he wasn't feeling that. I don't know Stephen A. Smith, but I'm sure he wasn't feeling that. And I'm sure if he had an opportunity to be like, save him, he'd be like, nah, let him drown. Let him drown. And Rob is also saying that's the mistake he made at going at Stephen A. Somewhere here is being implied that Stephen A. Smith may have been behind it. I don't know that because I don't know these people. I'm just going off of what Rob said and making my own inferences. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comment section, and we catch you guys on the next show. Peace.